What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader, also known as John, coming back to you with a vintage versus modern comparison. And I thought today we would take a look at one of my very favorite G.I. Joes from the vintage line that was remolded for the 25th anniversary, the Cobra Battle Android Trooper. And the original came out in 1986, and I believe was also a invention of Dr. Mindbender to help build the Cobra troop army with some more significant numbers. They are just slightly less intelligent than actual human Cobra troopers, but basically they are robots, androids, that are produced in large numbers and used to attack G.I. Joe by trying to overwhelm them. And the original vintage cartoon had a great 1 or 2 episode run where Sergeant Slaughter was kind of basically bashing them in big bunches, and it's definitely one of the coolest figures. Certainly one of my top 10 original vintage G.I. Joes. And so we'll take a look at the vintage figure first before comparing it to the 25th anniversary re-release. So here we are. This is the original 1986 release. Cobra Android Trooper is how it's listed on the card. They also listed as B.A.T.S, Battle Android Trooper. I don't know what the final S stands for, but this was, I believe, re-released as another wave in the vintage line as just Bat, but I could be wrong on that. The original character was just awesome. It has a kind of a 3D chess piece that is like a sticker, and you can see the kind of silver visor. And the gimmick for the Battle Android Trooper was that his hand was detachable. It has a little nub inside, and you could replace it with one of the 3 attachments that it was included. The 3 attachments are kind of a laser, pistol arm, a gripper arm, as you can see in the artwork, and then a flamethrower, which I believe this is the flamethrower right here. So all 3 of those accessories fit inside the backpack, and it plugged into his chest plugged into his back like the original, all the other vintage figures. And then here's the figure. This is one I purchased ungraded on eBay. I've talked about him, or I've shown him previously. You can see the flamethrower attachment in the artwork, but the articulated chest is kind of like a 3D piece that moves a little bit. On some of the vintage figures that are still in the bubble, you'll see that chest piece has fallen off just because the sticker residue has kind of, aged with time and no longer holds it on. I've seen that a few times on vintage figures that are for sale. But I did buy this one ungraded, and, one thing that was not disclosed is kind of the scratches that you see on the bubble. So I was a little disappointed. I was expecting it to come back with, at best a 75. But as you can see in the AFA grading sticker, it did come back with an 85, which I was very pleasantly surprised by. 1986 Hasbro Series 5, 30, is it a 38 or a 36? 36 back B.A.T.S. And it came back with a card of an 85. The bubble got the 80, obviously, due to the... I'm sorry about the lack of focus. The card got an 85, the bubble got the 80 because of the scratches, which I thought was very high. And then the figure got an 85. So it came back as an 85, Near Mint Plus overall. And as you can see there, I got the archival upgraded case for it. But, this is a really, really nice example. It also is unpunched, as you can see there. So maybe my 75 was a little bit pessimistic, but it did come back with a really nice score. And, it's a beautiful figure. Let's look at the back of the card real quick. You can see some of the other figures in the line. These are Series 4, 5, and 6 characters, I believe. And there is the Battle Android Trooper along next to Dr. Mindbender, their inventor. I showed you the Dr. Mindbender in the unboxing video last week, or this week, I should say. And here's the file card. Bats are the perfect Cobra troopers. They never question orders, complain about the chow, shirk duty, or surrender. So basically, they're just robotic, brainless, mindless androids that do what they're told, and they're basically just an attempt by Cobra to overwhelm the G.I. Joes with superior numbers, which it never worked, obviously. But anyway, so that's the figure for the vintage line. It's one of my very favorites from the original line. And then they re-released it, as you can see here, with the 2008 update. This is the comic series version. They also released this on a foil card where the G.I. Joe logo was kind of silver and embossed in like a reflective silver. But here's the grading for it. 2008 Hasbro G.I. Joe comic series Cobra B.A.T. 9.0. So a very nice grade for it. And here is the artwork and the figure. The figure has some nice updates. The 3D chess piece is very reminiscent of the original run. It also does come with the four attachments, his hand, the claw, the blowtorch, and then the laser. Why Hasbro, as you can see with the backpack, it only fits 2 of the 3 accessories, which I thought was just so stupid. I mean, come on, Hasbro. What's the point of having 3 attachments if they don't fit in the backpack? So you basically, if you took this out of the package, you'd have 1 extra accessory that won't fit anywhere on the character. As you can see on the side here, he does have a removable pistol that's holstered. But it's a very, very nice update with the exception of that one complaint I have. Looking at the artwork next to the original, you can see that it's a little bit darker with the head mold, and it has the explosion background versus the digital lines. But I believe this one also did, come on an explosion background, but don't quote me on that. It's otherwise, very, very much the same. The 25th anniversary version does say Cobra B.A.T. instead of Cobra B.A.T.s, plural. So that's one minor change as well. But you can see the G.I. Joe comic series there. The silver embossed G.I. Joe logoed version has the 25th anniversary logo. Let's take a look at the back real quick. Obviously it's got the other 25th anniversary remolds that are shown there. And here is the file card, and it's exactly the same, or basically exactly the same. It might be slightly... I think the second paragraph is slightly different. But this one came out in 2008, so, again, it's about 10 years old, but a great re-release. And given that was one of my favorite characters, I knew that I was going to have to buy both. And so here they are, for comparison's sake. The modern version, obviously, is slightly taller and does not have the terrible rubber band issue that the original has. You can see that the rubber band is starting to maybe soften a little bit inside the bubble there. He looks like he has been sucking back on some whiskey here, and he's kind of not very steady in the core area. You got to do some sit-ups, bro. Get some sit-ups in, man. That'll work your core. Anyway, thanks for watching, and that's all I got.